Hey, what's up gentlemen and ladies? Welcome to another Final Fantasy Countdown video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my top 5 characters from Final Fantasy Type-0, which is a list that I've actually wanted to do since before the game even came out, but I just felt like I hadn't really gotten a chance to play around with the characters all that much since it took me like 6 months to pick the game up, and then like another 6 months to actually play a significant extent of it, but I figured what better time than now. And also, disclaimer, this top 5 is almost purely based on how the characters play in-game. I will, to some extent, take, character design and personality into it. Not voice acting, though, because if I did, I'd probably have to change it to, like, a top 2, if that. But with that out of the way, let's just jump right into it with number 5. So through this top 5, you guys will probably notice that I tend to like a lot of the faster, flashier characters over the slower, stronger counterparts. So yeah, don't expect to see like Kater, Sank, or Jack in here. That being said, I'm going to start off this top 5 with Machina. Now, as impractical as they are, everyone knows that dual swords are badass no matter what. From the drive forms in Kingdom Hearts 2, to the dual wielding in SAO, this automatically adds like 50 cool points to any character, and Machina is really the only one from Type-0 to have dual swords. I mean, Rem has dual daggers, but it's not the same. He's a little bit slower and clunkier than I'd personally like him to be, but he definitely has some strong attacks, and I will admit the design is pretty unique, a little dumb, not gonna lie, but unique nonetheless, with the whole drill theme that it has going for it, and it does make for that one cool attack though. In the number 4 spot, I have 7. Yeah, it gets a little confusing when we get to the characters that have numbers for names, but now I like her in particular just because you don't really see that many whip wielders very often in video games, probably because they're just, hard to get good gameplay out of. I feel like Type-0 made it work with 7, albeit a bit repetitive. It's cool because it's not just a whip, it's a whip blade, which means that to a degree she can also kind of use it as if it was a sword. You can hit enemies from close range or do an area attack hitting everything around her, and she even has one of the most useful attacks in the entire game, being able to grab enemies with her weapon. It reminds me a lot of the grappling hooks used in DMC. Very useful. Now we're getting into the top 3. These are the ones that I prefer to have in my party for the most part, and I'm starting it off with Scythe. What can I say? I'm a sucker for scythes. From Maka to Ruby, and yes, even Marluxia. There's just something so cool about swinging around a giant 6-foot stick with a blade sticking out of it. And yes, I know that they would be really impractical in real life, but realistically half the things in this game would be. And despite being fairly large and unwieldy weapons, they're usually depicted as very fast, and Type-0 is no exception. It's so fun to play Scythe just cutting through enemies as if you were death itself, or Etro if you prefer. Now, in terms of long-range characters, you really only have a couple options in Type-0. You have Ace with his cards, Trey with a super slow bow, Kater who uses a magic gun and can't even move while she shoots, and then you got King with his awesome dual pistols. I do admire the Type-0 team for making each character, even the 2 gunners, unique, seeing as how Kater has to stand still but doesn't need to reload, and King can move and shoot but does have to reload. But honestly, with my style of playing through Type-0, it worked out just fine. I mainly would just switch out to him to land a couple of hits on the enemy before finishing them off with somebody else, and it definitely adds a lot of style points to the game. I can see how using King for an entire level exclusively might get a bit boring and repetitive, although that could really be said about any character in Type-0, but I find him great as a member of your party, and like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna need a long-ranged fighter. King's probably your best bet. And my number 1 favorite character in Final Fantasy Type-0 is Rem. Now, like I said, I love fast characters and flashy animations, and Rem is just that. taking on the role of Thief in Type-0. While she may not be the strongest of all the characters, she's definitely the most fun to play as in my opinion. Being able to practically fly around enemies while you hit them and moving around so fast, it's really what I wanted out of Zero to begin with, and I wish that more characters played like her. You know, in their own style, obviously, but more similar in terms of that they have more to them. You guys will always see Rem as my party leader when I play Type-0 HD, and also, fun fact, Rem is also Tabata's favorite character in the game as well, who, for those of you that don't know, is the director of Final Fantasy Type-0, although his reason was because she was apparently quote-unquote cute. And there you guys have it. There is my top 5 favorite characters from Final Fantasy Type-0. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys' favorite characters were in the game, since there is quite a bit to choose from, and there's pretty much something good about everyone. Except for Deuce. Deuce sucks. Nah, I'm kidding, but if you guys like this video and you want to hear me talk more about Type-0, my very first Twitch livestream is actually going to be on this game tonight at 8 PM Eastern Time, and it would be cool if you guys could check it out. Link to my Twitch will be in the description. Hopefully you guys can make it out to watch, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. But with that, that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for all things Final Fantasy!